Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in the very squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys. Well, about this thing. Today, we're talking about Akora, the little TCG that could, that eventually became a TCG that couldn't. This, in my opinion, is like the quintessential example of a Kickstarter TCG. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, this is a good example of a card game that started off strong, had a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of fans, and a lot of earnest support when it was first released on Kickstarter back in 2021, I think. But it failed to maintain that hype. It failed to maintain momentum. It failed, most importantly, to get new players and new fans and new collectors to come in as the old original crowd started trickling out. And as a result, it is now a dead card game. So let's talk about it a bit. And yeah, like I said, I'm fairly sure this was initially announced in 2021, or at least its Kickstarter finished in the halfway point of that year. But roughly 2 years ago now, it's been 2 years since its cancellation, since they announced that they are no longer producing more Akora sets. In fact, a set that was on its way at the time was canceled and refunded for the people who had ordered it, which is unfortunate. More unfortunate, I think, is how the announcement of the cancellation and the end of the TCG didn't come through its official website. It came through its Discord server, which I found was odd, if nothing else. But this is an interesting little game, and like I said, it did have a lot of fans and a lot of enthusiasm when it first went live. Players for this particular little gem took on the role of alchemists, if I remember correctly. And they're trying to master an ancient game called Akora. That's right, in Akora, you play a guy playing Akora. I'm not even joking. I'm like 90% sure that that's the actual lore of the game. It's funny as hell. And for what it is, all joking aside, this wasn't a bad card game. I played it quite a bit. I had a friend who was very enthusiastic about this when it first released, and he had a bunch of decks ready. So of course we sat down, and when it first came out, we played it a bunch, and honestly, I thought it was pretty fine. There are a few things to note about the card game, and I don't remember a lot because, like I said, it's been like 5 years now, because the game, I think, lasted 3 years, 21 to 24. Yeah, so it's been 5 years now since I played it, or 22 to 24, something like that. It's been a while since I've tried it, is what I'm trying to say. What I do remember is that cards have types, things like beast and dragon or stuff like that. And they also have attributes like earth, electricity, spirit, divine, I think, are attributes in the game. And there's this really cool mechanical back and forth that the cards have going on, of course, but there's more important than that, I think, is the level system. You see your Akora beasts that you play throughout the game. Each version of them is a level, and you have to level them up in order to power them up and to overpower your opponent's Akora, in a sense, which is really cool. And like I said, honestly, it's not that bad of a card game. And like I said, it did have a very small but very dedicated fan base, with people talking about it all the time. Like I said, my buddy at the time was super excited about it and was really enthusiastic about it. But that enthusiasm, just because there is enthusiasm there and excitement, doesn't mean that it's going to be maintained. It doesn't mean it's going to become a status quo, and it doesn't mean you necessarily will be able to drag more people to your game, more people into your market environment. Because that's the thing, especially for a lot of Kickstarter TCGs, if they're barely able to churn it out the next set, every single release needs to do pretty decent, or else there's not enough money in the tank to keep going for the next release. And that's what happened with Akora. After that big wall had come, eventually they had just failed to grow. They had failed to capture enough new players to make releasing more sets sustainable, to make producing the game sustainable. And so, like I said, they failed to make enough money, and they announced an end to the card game. Which is a shame, if I'm being honest. Like I've said before, I don't want card games to fail. I don't want any TCG to die. I'd like it very much if the TCG ecosystem could be diverse and every card game under the sun could just keep releasing stuff indefinitely, or at least until an idealized endpoint. Which I know is unrealistic, but still. Overall, I don't think Akora is a bad card game. I just think it failed for one reason or another to properly grasp new enthusiastic players, which is just unfortunate. As for what it is now, well, it is a dead card game, but one that I definitely think is worth checking out. At least, if I remember correctly, I had a lot of fun playing it just a few short years ago. And I did have some success selling it on TCG Player, too. It was never a home run gangbuster set series, game. Jeez, 3 completely different words. It was never like the best thing ever, but it did sell, and it did sell pretty well. And for what it is, you can pick up the boxes super cheap. I think this is like $15 on eBay right now, and it comes with its own acrylic case, or at least all the boxes that I've purchased have come with acrylic cases, which is pretty funky to me. And for like $15 to $20 per box, that's not bad, especially if it's a game that you're either interested in trying and checking out for yourself, or just collecting, or more validly, I think, is just having some cheap TCG products to crack open whenever you feel like just ripping open some packs. Because trust me, just being able to rip open packs for cheap, it's fun stuff. Very fun stuff. So overall, like I said, I don't think it's the best TCG ever, honestly. But I don't think it was bad, and I think that overall that it failed to properly capture an audience and to keep that audience, keep that revolving door audience going long enough at least to keep more sets going until it could become a sustainable product, is unfortunate. And it's, like I said, the quintessential example of a Kickstarter TCG, because a lot of Kickstarter TCGs have that problem. Very few manage to stand the test of time. Very few manage to capture an audience and grow with it. Sorcery looks promising. The Cyberpunk TCG looks very promising. But for the most part, you'll find that a lot of Kickstarter card games end up falling by the wayside relatively quickly. And Akora was just a good example of that. So that's all I got. It's been a while since I've talked about a dead card game, and this is a good example of a dead card game to talk about. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out the Discord, the Patreon, the TCG player link. All of those are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.